All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 53 of the Samurai Brothers. Matthew, we're really weathering the weather. It's very hot, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but it's starting to go down in the valley for the fall.
Okay, yeah, it's still pretty hot out here, so hopefully, we'll get some. Hopefully, it'll start to cool down. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of having to join from my phone because of some technical difficulties with the camera on my computer. Hopefully, it won't have any. It won't be too difficult on the recording of the episode. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, Matthew, huge chapter, and I mean huge chapter in One Piece, and that'll be the central point of our conversation and our focus of debate for today. And this is going to be really interesting. So we're going to get right into it, shall we? So, chapter 1159, and it is titled The Island of Fate. And one thing I have to say, obviously, with the cover story, Yamato and Ulti and page one are kind of going around. So, that's kind of interesting. Again, I like to see how, these cover story arcs give a little bit, I wouldn't say redemption, but it gives like updates to people who may have been the antagonists, and then they end up having their own I guess closure, would you say?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But anyway, so we get into the whole thing about as a lot of people suspected, and as I also suspected, the basically the world government did kidnap Shaki from Full Lead Island. In fact, they even killed, as it says in the beginning part of the chapter here, that her security, um, what would you call them? Like they say security team, but what's another?
Detail.
Yeah, her security detail was actually killed off. Don Marlin is one who seems to be one of the first members of the flashback, Rock's crew to be eliminated. So that's very interesting. Obviously, and it looks like the world government got in and out, like literally in and out, because it says it happened within a few hours. So that's like, wouldn't that be like special forces espionage type stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be like special forces black ops type activity.
Now here's the interesting thing, because I was kind of reading about it. Some other people may have been pointing it out, and it looks like Ochoku Wang Zi might be the traitor. Like he let them in because he's counting money. You can see in the very next panel. So I would not be surprised at all if this is an indication that he betrayed the Rock's pirates to let the world government kidnap Shaki. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and also as we can see, Gloriosa is also affected by it because she's shown crying, and that's her fellow
Yeah. Uh, her fellow Amazonian.
yeah.
Yep. So that, with that being said, obviously Roger's mad. It looks like Rayleigh's actually showing some concern here for the first time, that we've seen him. So obviously no one's happy with that. Now, we do go to 1 year later in God. So that's really interesting. The fact that she's kidnapped 39 years ago, and then 1 year later, you know, before anything like happens, where there's like some kind of rescue attempt or something. But so then 38 years ago,
So here's what probably happened. The world government probably had a very narrow window in that they could where they could snatch her. Was it early? Yes, but they had to get her, and or no, they didn't have to. They wanted to get her, so they decided that. So the window was available. They took it, and then they just held her, for the
That period.
hunting
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, because so Garling goes to God Valley and he meets the mother, and his two sons, um, you know, and she says, "Hey, Shanks and Shamrock, this is your father." He sees them obviously, but then she says that that he can live with them now, but he says they're not going to be living here anymore because the island's going to cease to exist. And he also says, I've already special ordered a wife befitting of me. All I have to do is win this competition to make her mine. And she's going like, what competition? Then all of a sudden we see that Garling has obviously attacked her, stabbing her, things like that. And then Garling says, begin preparation. So um, I didn't watch Grand Line Review's episode yet, but I think he had made the one indication, or I think it might have been a Facebook post I saw from another group that says that Garling is confirmed canonically as Shanks and Shamrock's father.
Well, I don't know why he wouldn't be, because they're both figurlins,
Well,
and
I think the thing though is that the wife was a commoner. Well, actually, she's not even his wife. It's just someone he mingled with while he was visiting God Valley previously.
well, I think this kind of confirms that probably in order to introduce some kind of diversity into the gene pool of the world nobles, because you've got 20 genetic templates. In order to introduce some kind of other genetic diversity to keep them from going completely inbred, they clearly will interbreed with other people.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, they do take commoners as wives, so it would make sense that that there would be children born of those unions. Now, while
I wouldn't call that though a guarantee that the children would become world nobles.
well,
Though.
I was gonna say that while it was obvious that Bonnie was not claimed as a world noble, I mean, you've I'm sure, like, we've seen, not all world nobles are necessarily monsters. I mean, a lot of them are, like, most of them are spoiled, yes, but they're not necessarily monsters.
Right.
So if there's a child born of a union with a world noble and a commoner, it would make sense that said world noble would claim the child as his or her own. So it's
Mhm.
just like, as I mentioned before, I don't know if we've established whether world noble women do the same thing, where they're like, oh, he's a nice guy, let's
Yeah, that'd be kind of an interesting one. Now here's the interesting thing. Obviously,
hello, John, hello, hello.
I think my phone died because it's
It
too hot.
died. Okay, well, let's just keep going from there. I'll edit this out, and
Hello, testing.
yes, you're on. So let's edit this out and finish the the episode.
Okay, so sorry about that, folks. Got a little bit of a technological issues here, so it looks like I'm out on the camera. But with that being said, Matthew, we do get one future Monkey D. Dragon as a Navy sailor on at God Valley, and he's really questioning what why this issue is happening here. Which I think kind of goes back to this all kind of, it now comes full circle as to why he chose the revolutionary lifestyle. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, and this was this has been a fan theory for a while, in that saying that it was very possible that Dragon was present on God Valley in some capacity. And so yeah, he clearly firsthand saw the corruption of what was happening in in God Valley, and he's like, this isn't justice. What did these people do? What are we doing here?
Right.
So this is one of those, he saw firsthand that this was just, there was nothing just about this, and as a result, he that's he eventually forms the Revolutionary Army.
Right.
Obviously, first known as the Freedom Fighters.
Yes, exactly. So now we'll get into about that. Let's see here. So getting back into about more people again being taken out. They're using tear gas. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that, the horrors that Dragon is seeing, which again, as we know, will influence his future decisions and career going forward. So with that being said, we do have a situation where there is a ship that's carrying slaves to God Valley. It looks like now we see a panel here where Ginny was able to get something off, and as it turns out, she had gotten information. At least the wiki points out that she gave information to Morgans. So we know now that he was running the World Economic Journal as far back as 30, 40 years ago, and it's easy to see that he is clearly and has always been motivated by money, because he was going to blackmail the government ship. Well, no, he's at Cypherpole and he's going to blackmail them for to sit on the scoop about this particular information going on. But he does say that he's going to leak the information to Pirate Island anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what this is. This is his way of, that's his way of making, creating more, of a, more of a situation and more headlines. So he's clearly a puppet master in the situation, and he's not above making news. So
Yeah.
I'm so, at some point the world government have to put him not on a wanted list. He has to be on a hit list, because the amount of stuff he's put out, it's just like he has to be on a hit list. It's just that he's so good at evading.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a perfect example. He goes, it's like the cojones on this guy. He goes to Cypherpole.
Yeah,
the Cypherpole headquarters, and says, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And he walks out of there alive. The cojones on this guy.
Yeah, very true.
Like, I don't know of any other journalist who has like such giant balls of steel, like giant sized wrecking balls. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Right. Hmm.
But yeah, moving to the what's it called, the when it's relayed to Fullerhead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we go back to Full of Lead, so um, they did find out, well, obviously because Morgan's leaked the information to Full of Lead. So this is where we see that Ochoku was indeed the
The informant.
yeah, the
We'll say.
informant. Yeah, because they see that Shaki's still alive. She's on God Valley, and Ochoku's asking, "Well, are you sure about the source?" And now, obviously, Rox doesn't name the source, but they're all committing to go to God Valley because of finding out about that it's the Celestial Dragon's manhunt. I'm sure Newgate is probably on board with this because he wants to try and stop it. And then there's devil fruits for prizes, and also obviously for Shaki. And then Big Mom's also thinking, oh, well, that'll be good for some devil fruits for her kids as well. And obviously, Rox says that they're all going. Whoever doesn't want to go
Can
should
stay
not,
behind.
yeah, can stay behind. Roger obviously is going to go too, and it looks like Rayleigh is finally on board with trying to rescue Shaki, as it seems. And then it also shows that Roger finds out Rox is on the move. Garp is going to go because he finds out that Roger is going to go to God Valley as well.
Oh, did you notice that Garp picture is basically a copy paste of Kuma's flashback?
Is it?
It is the exact same picture of Garp being told by I don't know if it's Kong. I think it was Kong
Mm-hmm.
that let him know that he was coming. So he was just like, really? Why didn't you lead in with that?
Yes, yes.
While he's on leave, and he's just like, I'm just chilling. It's like I don't care about what the world nobles say. And then it's like Roger's coming. It's like why didn't you lead in with that?
So with that being said, then Rox is on the way to God Valley, but Harold, in his still, quest to try and join the world government, has been asked by them to stop Rox. So then here's where I think this is the biggest revelation of the chapter that we get into, because Rox asked for a parlay, and he decides to tell Harold a secret that he hasn't even told to his crew. And he says that he has a secret name, and that name is Davy D. Zebek. And I'll tell you,
That's quite a revelation.
that is a revelation. Unbelievable that we would get to that point where Davy D. Zebek. So, with that being said, he's a descendant of the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones, which I think, I have a high suspicion, Matthew, about this, that I think that the very first pirate rivalry major pirate rivalry could have been between Davy D. Jones and Joy Boy.
Another that's one fan theory. I've heard of another fan theory that that Davy D. Jones and Joy Boy might have been the same person. But you might be right. We just know that Joy Boy was the first pirate. It doesn't mean that Davy B. Jones didn't or Davy D. I think I said B for some reason. And we don't. It's possible that Davy D. Jones started after, and that it could have been the first pirate rivalry.
So, now here's the thing, Rox goes into a little bit more details about why that God Valley is actually why he goes there. So he says that his timing was terrible, either great or terrible. 2 years ago, I had a kid, and to make sure danger didn't befall them both, I sent my wife and child to my homeland and told them to seek the Davy clan for help. So, and then Harold asks, why would you admit this exploitable weakness to me? Because Rock says, God Valley is my home. But also, Rox admits that the celestial dragons converging on that island doesn't have anything to do with Rox. Rather, it's a miscalculation of their part. And that kidnapping Shaki was their fatal mistake. And he really actually doesn't care that much about Shaki because he cares more about his wife and kid, according to him. So whoever side fortune is on Harold, it doesn't feel like mine. Lend me your aid. And Harold says no. So with that being said, Rox obviously escapes from the ship, and Harold, feigning a mistake in attack, lets Rox get the better of him. And I think that this is in a way probably a parting gift to Rox. That's the only way I can think about it, because they still respect each other after all this time, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, the final closing part of the chapter is that Shaki has been brought to God Valley. The day of the incident, she's presented as the top prize, along with all the other devil fruits that are in treasure chests. And everybody obviously is going after Shaki. Even Sommers wants, his chance to get at Shaki, with Garling saying, no, she's mine. And then obviously the Man-Mayer family is also there, with Gunko as going to be one of the competitors. So we do know that Gunko is at least, and she seems to be like a teen or a woman in this particular. So, but actually, I think, wasn't she there when Rox infiltrated the flower room?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we find that it appears that Dragon found the mother of Shanks and Shamrock.
She crawled her way to a room and pleaded with him to take the twins off the island and away from Garling.
Yeah, so my guess is that for all we know, and again, because what was it? I'm reading I think there was like some kind of AI thing that said that Shanks was found in a treasure chest. Maybe Dragon put him there. I don't know, but we'll find that out, I'm sure, very, very soon. And then obviously Teach and his mother have also been captured, because it looks like they will be some of the targets in the in this competition. And then obviously they're talking about the Buccaneer boy, which we know is Kuma. He's the super rare rabbit for the contest. But then they also mentioned that they have another target who's been found at long last after 800 years, the Davy clan. So not sure if they know that Teach and his mom are connected to the Davy clan, but they do know that they've found members of the Davy clan. So this is going to be, again, a huge event over the next couple of chapters. And just think about this. This is still Loki's flashback. We still haven't gotten to the point where his dad dies yet.
Yeah, and so clearly we're gonna. Here's my question. Maybe we'll see it in the next chapter. Maybe we won't. Which, thankfully, is only 1 week away. 1 week away. But my question now is: it still looks like Rocks and the two people who would align more likely would still be Rocks and Roger. So what is going to happen that is going to cause Garp and Roger to team up against Rocks? This is a very, very big question. It's like what it's like it's like we found out that at most Rocks is a great character. He's not the bad guy that originally he was made out to be.
No, I see him more as a gray. He's more of a gray character now.
Yeah, he's more of a gray character. So it's like, so the only thing he wants to do on God Valley is get his wife and son off the island. That's his only goal. So what is he going to do on there that's so bad that Garp and Roger are gonna group together? Two guys who despise the world nobles. What is going to happen that is going to cause them to group together to go against Rocks? Like it's like there's going to be some big revelation here.
Yep.
Because he's not interested in Chucky.
Yeah. So that being said, Matthew, since we're out of time, we'll just leave it on that question of yours. What is going to happen? So, but that being said, though, we are going to get the next chapter next week, and we'll see also about getting my technological issues fixed, and we'll be opening with the opening day of the September Basho. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for tuning in, and we'll be sure to see you again.